Elisabeth Leseur was a Catholic woman whose faith inspired her atheist husband to convert and become a priest after her death. Her family was wealthy and she had an active prayer life as a child. As she grew older, her faith became lukewarm, influenced by an irreligious society. She met Félix Leseur when she was 23, and the two of them fell deeply in love. He was a doctor who had lost his faith during his medical studies, but he promised to respect Elisabeth's nominal Catholic faith during their marriage. The couple were completely in love, but Felix grew frustrated with Elisabeth's even tepid religiosity. He attacked the church more and more, and it actually had the opposite effect on her, spurring her to investigate Catholicism more deeply. By her early 30s, Elisabeth experienced a spiritual conversion. She read the Church Fathers and the work of Catholic mystics, and she devoted herself to helping the poor. She would pray for her husband's conversion for the rest of her life, saying, "My God, one day, soon, you will give me the immense joy of a full spiritual communion with my beloved husband, the same faith, and a life for both him and me that may be directed towards you." Her life was unfortunately cut short by cancer. She had already suffered from poor health during her early marriage, and after she developed cancer, she was plagued with extra pain and suffering. Another source of suffering for Elisabeth was the childlessness of her marriage. She offered up all of her sufferings for Felix's conversion and for unbelievers around the world. Near the end of her life, she devoted herself completely to God. She kept a journal and wrote many letters. In her journal, she said, "There is great sweetness in this total abandonment and detachment which God works in us little by little through every consolation, every personal striving. I am far from having arrived, but if God brings this work to completion in his poor servant, I will be totally abandoned to him." Elisabeth died on May 3, 1914 at the age of 48. Felix was heartbroken. He discovered that Elisabeth had left behind a spiritual testament for him as well as her journal and letters. He said, "When everything around me seemed to fall apart, I discovered the spiritual testament that she had written for me. I discovered that Elisabeth had made a sort of bargain with God. She offered him her life in exchange for my return to the faith. I remember that one day she said to me with absolute certainty, 'I will die first, and when I die, you will be converted, and when you are converted, you will become a religious.'" Felix dismissed this prediction and remained an atheist. He actually resolved to go to Lourdes because he wanted to write a book debunking all of the healings that were happening there. In Lourdes, however, he experienced his own spiritual conversion. He said later that a revolution took place in my whole moral being. He came back to the church and became a Dominican priest in 1923. Felix had Elisabeth's journal and letters published. They were a source of inspiration for people who were dealing with friends and family who were hostile to the faith. In 1924, Felix hosted a spiritual retreat that was attended by Bishop Fulton Sheen. Bishop Sheen shared the story of Elisabeth's life with others and helped her become more well-known. Felix died in 1950. The story of Elisabeth's devotion to her husband and her husband's later conversion continued to inspire people around the world.